Hi there, this is Patrick Abeck with Digital Media Club TV, and in this lesson we're going to talk about a little bit of a refresher, but still just how to do this real quick. Find an event to cover on Facebook. Let's go over there, and let's go over here to Facebook. Okay, so this is the event I found, and we're going to search up here. If I were to search for this, I'm going to type in this particular case. I'm looking for an event in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, Charlotte is the main city, and it's got, I think we have 6 or 7 clubs in the suburbs of Charlotte. So sometimes if you're looking for an event to cover in a city, so for example, this is going to be a regional post, which means it's going to be posted to our 6 or 7 clubs that are surrounding the Charlotte area, and that's called cross-posting. And a couple things that students can do is you can learn how to cross-post, but a lot of times, and so I'm not going to type it in here, but you just type in the Facebook, search Facebook here, events, Charlotte, North Carolina, and then you'll get a bunch of them that pop up, and then you pick one. Now, the reason why I picked one is this one has a very good background. Sometimes you don't just want a picture here, because what we're going to do is, and if you're on a Mac, it is Shift Command 4. You get the little bullseye, and I am going to screenshot, do a partial screenshot, a targeted screenshot right here. Okay, and that's got all the information on it. Okay, we used to include this in there, but we decided not to anymore. It's just, sometimes it gets confusing, especially we get into other time zones, so you don't want to worry about that. Now, also, just to touch on it, you also need to be aware that if you're in my area, Toledo area, Ohio, it's the central, or it's the Eastern time zone. If you're doing a report for Texas, that's the central time zone, and you would have to list these times as an hour behind. So that doesn't apply to this one. So what we're going to do now, so I got the background there, and so what I'm going to do is go and find one of my backgrounds, which is right here. So what I'm going to do is I send students off. Let's get this framed up here. So this is an older one that we did. So right here, I happen to be using Keynote for this, but this is the picture that I'll send you. This is our canvas. This is an image here. This is an image here of the United States, and then this is our logo. It's actually 3 images laid on top of each other. When I send it over to you, though, you won't be able to edit these right here. These will just be fixed, one fixed image. So I'm going to, up here, if you're in Keynote, it says media, but you just want to attach the image, the screenshot that we just took. So it'll pop up here in a minute. And we are waiting. Another thing for the images, you don't want to have it to where it looks different. Now, in Keynote, it will proportionately kind of replicate the image as far as the appropriate wide, width, or height. What I see some students do, they must be using different programs, is you can manipulate that. So you could make it taller, and then all of a sudden the people in the image look skinnier. Okay, if you kind of make it, if you try to change the change it to. So this is going to think here for a minute. So let me see if I can do something else here. And let me go back here. So while that is doing that, we're going to go and work on the text here. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to form the text. So I'm going to give you a template, and a template is kind of another word for a form. Okay, so here is the form. Let's do this. So what we're going to do is, there we go. So I can't, let me see if I can get this bigger here. So this is the post text. This is what I mean by post text is a student's not going to read this part, but this is going to be the information. It's a community event series. Now we're going to list it as an event series, and you'll learn this later. It's not necessarily technically a series on the Facebook page, because there's actually Facebook events that we can do that this would be adding to the post on the events. That's, I don't have a name for that yet, but this is just kind of just called a general event that we're not going to actually list it or put it part of create an event for it on Facebook. A series, I mean. Okay, so the featured event, all this information here, we're going to get from going back here to the event. So let's see here. We're going to go back to, where's the event? There's the event. Okay, so the event is, this is the name of the event, the Digital Summit. So we're going to copy this. Everything, of course, is going slow when you're doing this. And so we're going to go back here. And so I'm going to then paste this, paste to match style, digital event series. I'm also going to, when I go to post this, I'm going to tag this. You tag something by hitting the @ sign, which on your Mac keyboard is Shift-2. And then you go like that. Of course, I'm not going to tag here. It's an email. Okay, it looks like my Keynote is ready. Let's see if we can shift back here. Okay, so then I'm back here in Keynote, back to my backgrounds. And we're waiting again. Okay, so here's my 2 backgrounds. I had made 2 of them. Let's see how this one looks. I made 1 and I just chopped a little bit off either side. Let me see if it's still. So what I've done is you have this screen and now you're going to lay an image over it. It's some referred to as a picture-in-picture, but it's a layover. And we're waiting for it to pull the image in. I like to use as high resolution as possible. You don't need to use way high a resolution, but you just want to make sure it looks sharp. There's no blurriness. There's not even a hint of blurriness to it, or else it doesn't look right. So now that I am waiting here, I really can't do anything else. So we'll just wait a bit. And it should pop up right. Okay, so this is what I mean. When I make this bigger, it's going to make it bigger appropriately, if you will. Okay. So sometimes what you could do is you could just stretch it out, but then it won't look right. She'll look skinnier and it'll just mess it with it. So I'm just going to have to live with this image this way, and there's going to be a bigger border up here, but I rather have a bigger border up here than to stretch it to the top and then this all looks stupid. Okay. And so you don't want to do that. All right. So now what we're going to do, so we have that in place. Now we want to have a screenshot. Once again, we do on our Mac keyboard, Shift-Command-4, get my bullseye, take the whole thing, and there we are. Now this becomes our Zoom background for this. So Digital Summit Charlotte. So I'm going to go here. Those are the 2 backgrounds that we used. It'll pop up right now. So just so I know where to find it, I'm going to rename this Charlotte Digital Summit. Okay, here's that. So that's the background. We don't need those anymore. So we have that done there. We have that done with that. So now we're back to our script. So I'm going to fill this out. So the host, sometimes it might be an organization. Let's see if the host, go back here. So this is an event by this organization here, which we're going to tag them. So I'm going to copy this. You can also type it if you want to, but I prefer to copy it. And so the host goes here. Okay, the location for the event, we just click back to our location is the Charlotte Convention Center. We're going to tag that when we post it. Go back here, go back here. Now the time and the location, I like to have them formatted a certain way. And formatted means, so this is December 14th and 15th at 5 p.m. So I don't just want to copy and paste it this way because that would not fit with our format. So December 14th and 15th, Charlotte, North Carolina. Let me see what that is. 14th and 15th is a Tuesday and Wednesday. You know what I'm going to do? Let's see. Let's go back here. I'm going to say sometimes I would put Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this right below it because I want to write it out differently. So date and time, December 14th, 8 a.m. to December 15th, 5 p.m. Okay, so this is what formatting is. So that's a format that they had it, but it looks awkward. It looks kind of clunky with the other. So I'm going to write this out because it goes well with our other December 14th, 8 a.m. to, that's how we'd spell it out. This is one of those picky little details that I will correct you on because once you know, you should do it. Now it would be a whole lot easier just to copy and paste it, but that wouldn't be excellence. That wouldn't look right. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything with excellence. Okay, so that's the postscript. Now, and we were copy and paste the about us down to sponsors later, but for right now, we're going to have that there. Now, this is the script. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. This is the description of the event right here. Digital Summit is back, blah, blah, blah. So this is the script that a student is going to read. And I'm going to maybe cut some of this out. This is a little bit long. So let's go back here. Hi there, welcome to my show. In this episode, we're going to talk about this, the event. And we're going to talk about in this episode, we're going to talk about the Digital Summit Charlotte 2021. And then just read this. Digital Mag is back in in-person events. Sharpen your marketing and sales skills for in-person sessions that address users in the right way. Charlotte, North Carolina, December 14th to the 15th, 2021. And what you want to do is, I'm looking for if they start to say anything like they or us, how to build your brand, more exposure. What is the title of your presentation? Okay. Those are all fine. So I don't want to have to read all this or have a student read all this. So at some point, we're just going to kind of so we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You know what? We're just going to go with, I'm just going to cut it off right about there. And then for more information, click on the link. So we want to have it to where, generally speaking, there's maybe 2 or 3 inches worth of text is a good rule of thumb. And that'll take you about a minute, maybe a minute or so to read. And we could have read the whole thing, not a big deal. But this particular one I know is for a new student, so I want to keep it kind of short. About us, Digital Media Club TV. And so there. So now this is the script that we just a description. Now, if this description of the event was very short, say it was just, that right there. It was just one paragraph. Well, then what we're going to do is we're going to recap the date and time, but then I'm going to go into, I would click on the host of the event. And I would go to their About Us, which is right here. And I would copy and paste and read this right there. I would copy and paste that on the script and just, a little bit about the host and blah, 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 then have the student read that. Okay. So that is it. That is it. Okay. So we're done here. I'm going to get this off to the assignment. That is how you do, and that's, if you can do that, you can do amazing things with our organization. So that's it. We'll talk to you later.